So one thing you want to be aware of is the angle that you put your phone at when you're taking these pictures, or your camera, whichever one that you are personally using. What's up, model babes? Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you're new here, my name is Key and I help you new and aspiring models learn how to get started modeling and get paid doing it. So in this video, I wanted to talk more about digitals, and I do already have a few videos where I talk about how you can take your best digitals by yourself. You can create your own comp card. You can take your best digitals at home. So I will list those videos in that playlist on this side over here, so you can check that out. But for today, I really wanted to dive deeper into the equipment that you're going to need to take your best digitals, specifically the 3 best investments that every model should take when they are thinking about taking their digitals. Okay, so first I wanted to go over some common mistakes I see a lot of models make when they are taking their digitals for the first time. So the first mistake you want to avoid is not having enough light. Making sure you have good light is really important when you're taking your digitals, because that's just what's going to show you your features, your body in its best ways. So you want to make sure that you are evenly lit from the front, so all your features are showing nicely. You know, we can clearly see what you look like, and there are no shadows casting on your face. There's no shadows casting on your eyes. You know, we want to make sure that everything can be seen, because once you submit the pictures, the agents are going to be looking at this and they want to see exactly what you look like. So you want to make sure that you're giving them the best version of yourself with the best lighting possible. And the next mistake that I see a lot of models doing when they're taking their digitals is shooting in the wrong location. So when you take your digitals, you really want to be on a plain white backdrop, a plain white wall, or a plain white backdrop sheet, whatever that's just plain and simple behind you. You don't want to have any distractions. A lot of times I see pictures of people in the middle of their hallway or in their room, and they might have shelves and pictures hanging on the walls and stuff like that. That can be a distraction to the agent who's potentially going to be looking at these photos. So you want to make sure that you have a clear backdrop, okay, a plain, simple white wall behind you, no words behind you, no pictures, no graphics, nothing like that. Again, make sure that your outfit and your wardrobe is really simple. Plain black is usually standard, and you want to make sure there's nothing around you that will take the attention off of you. When you submit these photos, you are supposed to be the center of attention. You want to stand out to that agent who could potentially sign you. And lastly, another mistake I see is having bad angles when you take your digitals. So I know a lot of models take their digitals by themselves at home. I have told you guys how to take your digitals on your phone, or you can elicit the help of a professional photographer, but I know a lot of you guys are taking it at home by yourself. So one thing you want to be aware of is the angle that you put your phone at when you're taking these pictures, or your camera, whichever one that you are personally using. You want to make sure that the closer you are level with your eyes. But personally, for myself, I always like to do my full body shots from a lower angle, so it makes me look a little bit taller and shows my legs to be a little bit longer as well. So I know a lot of people don't think about the angle that they're taking their pictures from, but depending on what angle you're at, it can make you look shorter, it can make you a little bit wider. So you want to make sure that you're taking your digitals at the best angle possible to make you look the most flattering and make you stand out, so that agent will sign you. So now that we know some of the things to avoid when we are taking our digitals, some things that we don't want to include when we're taking our digitals, now we're going to be talking about some of the things that we can use, some tools that will help us to take better digitals. So the first thing I want to talk about is having a tripod, because like I've expressed in the past, you can take your digitals on your phone. You can just use your smartphone. Is it on? It's my son. You can just use something like your smartphone that has the cameras. You know, these phones nowadays are like super smart. You know, they make the cameras so they can have high quality images. They can take high quality images and video. So you can definitely use a smartphone to take your digitals. Depending on how tall you are, it might be hard for you to get the right angle of yourself if you just put your phone on a chair or stack it on some books. So having a tripod is very helpful because you can adjust the height and, you know, adjust the angle of how you want to take your photos. So I definitely suggest getting a phone tripod. I will put the link to the tripod that I use in the description box below. I have also already talked about it in my previous digitals video, in this one that I mentioned earlier. So you can definitely check out that tripod in the description box. But yes, I love having a tripod to take my digitals because it just makes it super easy, especially with the one I use. It comes with a little remote, so you can actually hold it in your back pocket, hold it in your hand, put on self timer, and just take the picture. You know, just click it so you don't have to keep running back to the camera to check and, you know, start the timer and then run back and stuff. You can just have it in your hand and click when you want to take the photo. So I really like the tripod that I get off of Amazon. Again, it will be linked down in the description box. So a tripod is definitely going to help you get better angles of yourself when you're taking your digitals. And then moving on to our next piece of equipment that you want to include, because we talked about having bad lighting, you definitely want to make sure that you invest in a ring light. Ring light is very helpful. A lot of, you know, YouTubers and beauty influencers have talked about using ring lights before, and that's because they do work. So if you're in an area of your home that doesn't really get good light, or if you're outside and you just don't have a lot of light around you, you can definitely pop up your ring light. They do have them where they're the self-standing ring light, so it's just the circle of lights, and then you can pop your phone on your tripod and have it in between that circle. Or they also have ring lights with the tripod stand in the middle too. So there's different kinds that you can check out. I'll leave links to the ones I like on Amazon in the description box, so make sure you check that out. All the equipment that I'm talking about will be listed in the description box. But yes, there's a few different kinds you can play around with, but a ring light is definitely going to be helpful for you anytime you are taking pictures by yourself. If you are, you know, out and about, there are ring lights just on the phone. Like, you can just pop it on top of the front where the camera is. There's little small ones that you can have, but I like the big ones. Sometimes, you know, I can use it for when I'm doing makeup looks or beauty looks. Beauty shoots definitely are great for ring lights, and especially come in handy when you're taking your digitals and don't have that much light to work with. And moving on to our third piece of equipment that is going to be a great investment for every model taking their digitals, and that is having a backdrop. So investing in a roll of paper, a paper backdrop, or a sheet, just so you can have that clean backdrop that has no distractions on it. Like we talked about, your location does matter when you are doing your digitals. So investing in a backdrop, a roll of white paper or a sheet that's white or off-white is definitely going to be helpful when it comes to taking your digitals. So again, I have listed the ones that I like inside of the description box. You can check it out on Amazon. Everything I get is from Amazon because Amazon is clutch. So yeah, a backdrop that is just clear of any distractions. You know, make sure if you are using a sheet that you iron out or, you know, steam out any of the wrinkles, so you make sure that your shot is really clean. And it just really comes in handy when you want to take your photos, not only your digitals, but maybe you just want to have your own photo shoot, you know, just to take your own pictures if you're more so on the influencer track of things. If you're just taking your pictures by yourself, then having a roll of backdrops for yourself is just going to be a great investment to have, because that just allows you to just get it done by yourself. You have your backdrop, you got your tripod, you got your ring light, you are ready to go. You are all ready to have your own photo shoot by yourself. So those are the 3 best investments that I believe every model should take in order to get the best digitals that they can. Now, I just wanted to throw out a few quick tips for when you are taking your digitals. Now, if you're not able to get a ring light, you can definitely do this in front of a window. Just place yourself in front of the window so you're looking out towards the window and the light is shining on you, and that should give you a nice even light on your face so you can take your digitals. I know it does depend on how your house is set up, but if you do have the luxury of having a window in front of you and a wall behind you, then you should definitely take advantage of that when you are taking your digitals, and you won't have to use a ring light. Another tip is if you are using a backdrop, you want to make sure that you are a few feet away from the backdrop, because you don't want to be too close, especially if you're going to be using a light source. You're going to be casting shadows on your backdrop if you're too close, so you want to make sure that you just step a few feet away from the backdrop so it's nice and evenly lit and doesn't have any weird shadows that would be distracting in your photos. And lastly, my biggest tip for taking digitals by yourself at home is when you finally get your photos, you're taking your photos, and they might still be a little bit dark or discolored depending on what type of phone you may have or what type of camera that you're using, then you can always just throw it into a phone editing app. So I personally have used this before on my digitals just to make them a little bit brighter. I would like adjust the exposure on them just a little bit so they're not as dark as they were when they were just taken off of my photo. I think that it will make them look better. So I personally have used Photoshop Express and InShot are photo editing apps that you can download in the App Store or the Google Play Store depending on which phone you have. But yeah, they're really super simple, easy software tools to use. You can just upload your photos in them and then adjust the coloring to how you would like them. Like I said, I don't try to do too much because obviously your digitals are supposed to showcase you in your most natural state, but I do like to use the like brightening exposure feature on there so it can just make it look a little bit lighter and not, you know, dark and muddy like sometimes just taking photos off of the camera makes them look. So that is my biggest tip for you guys that are taking your digitals at home. So now I have a question for you. Have you taken your digitals yet? Please let me know if you have taken your digitals, or if you're about to take your digitals, put it in the comments below. And if you have already taken your digitals, don't be afraid to send them to me on Instagram. I know a lot of the time you guys DM me, you know, hey, can you check this out? I'm about to submit my photos to this agency, but I want to see if these digitals are great, and I love to look at them. So make sure, if you're not already, to follow me on Instagram at thatsokey and share your digitals with me because I would love to see them. Also, if you are new to modeling and you're new to this industry and digitals and all this other terminology, then you're not sure exactly where to start or where to begin with taking your digitals, then never fear, because I have a new and improved digitals guide coming to you. It is dropping today, I believe. December 6th should be the day when it is released. I will put the link in the description box below, and this is my step-by-step how-to guide on how to take the best high quality flawless digitals at home by yourself that you can use to submit to agencies and potentially get signed with your dream agency. So make sure you check out the new how to take your best digitals at home guide down in the description box. I will leave the link for you guys to check it out. And that's all I have for this video, loves. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked it, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss my next video. I'll see you guys later.